the regular City of Hoyt Lakes Council meeting Monday, May 23rd, 2022, 5:30. Roll call, please.
Grams? Here. Kramer? Here. Pop?
Here.
Zins? Vreeland?
Here. Rules in order. Please stand for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Consent agenda tonight. It's mainly council meeting and items on 9. Items 9. Any questions or comments on consent agenda? Not hearing any. Motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Councillor Kramer. Support?
I'll support.
Support by Councillor Paul. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Guest citizens and forum. I think you guys are a little bit farther down the agenda. Are you okay with that? Okay. Reports from staff. City Administrator Lammy.
Well, first off, I want to thank Mayor Vreeland, as he's been serving the City of Hoyt Lakes for many years, and tonight is his last meeting. I hope your retirement is peaceful and enjoyable, which I know it will be.
Thank you.
You're welcome. My final year of the Clerks Institute went very well. I was gone last meeting for that. And then just a reminder for everyone, community cleanup is this Saturday. Meet at the community building at 9 o'clock in the morning. We'll be handing out contractor trash bags. Just be sure to leave them in an accessible area for Public Works to pick up on Monday morning.
Probably be Tuesdays and Monday the holiday.
Oh, Tuesday morning,
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Just clarification. Thank you. Library Director, Sue Sowers.
We've been working very hard planning our summer reading program for this year. It'll begin on June 6th, and it's free and open to anybody ages 0 to 18. So come on by, sign up starting June 6th. Watch for our video. We finished producing that, so that will be coming out in the next week or so. We also have a lot of fun, so we hope to see a lot of kids again this year.
Thank you. Public Works Director, Kenny Stetzinger.
Yeah, Public Works wrapped up all our street sweeping last week. We do have a couple more areas, outlying areas we're gonna do, like out by the golf course and recycle center, etc. But we got the sweeper fixed, back up and running. It's working well. City of Aurora has it back now, so they're starting theirs. This week we're trying to get our cemetery nice and dolled up for the Memorial Day holiday. So we have a lot of work to do up there. My guys will be assisting Larry in getting everything ready for the weekend. Campground as of last week is all up and running. Docks are in, all the water systems turned on. We do have a couple problems we ran into in the bathrooms, hot water heater elements, etc. That parts are on order and should be back up and running this week. We'll also be starting to prep all our main breaks to get the patches in the roads taken care of as soon as we can this summer. We had to do a repair on the water line at the golf course. Last year, the gas company installed a new service line all the way down the side of the road into the golf course. And we had marked between Wade and I, we both had marked the water line to the best of our knowledge where it was. It was never marked years ago when it was put in back in the 60s. So we had guessed and it got hit in a couple places. So when we turned the water on, we found a couple leaks. Dan reported them to us and we got them taken care of. So they're up and running as well.
Good. Thank you, Kenny.
Yep.
EMS Director, Mel Olmsted.
I just have an item.
Pardon me?
Agenda item.
Thank you. Fire Chief Tony House, nice to see you here tonight.
Yeah, I came because it's your last one.
That's what I figured.
No, I just have agenda items.
All right, thank you. And City Attorney Carl Sundquist, anything for you tonight?
Nothing for me tonight. Happy to be here.
Okay.
Filling in for Mitch, so.
Thank you. We'll go for reports from elected officials. Councillor Pop.
Nothing other than agenda items.
Councillor Kramer.
Nothing tonight.
Councillor Grams.
Nothing tonight.
Wow, this is going to be a quick meeting. And I have something at the end. We'll wait till. There's no old business. We'll jump into new business. Minnesota Power Line 137 conditional use permit. So if you want to get up, or Becky, how do you want to work that?
I can just give a brief overview. So the city last year received a conditional use permit application from Minnesota Power for their Power Line 137 extension. That has gone through all the appropriate channels. We had a public hearing at the Planning Commission. There were some comments received from the DNR and MPCA, which Natalie with SEH has responded to, and that information's in your packet. If you have any questions of Minnesota Power or SEH, they are both in the audience tonight.
Okay. Either one of you have any comments?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, councilors. First of all, congratulations on this being your last meeting. I guess I could just give an overview of what the project is one last time in case there's any confusion, but 137 line is the transmission circuit that feeds North Shore Mining's operations. And it's a radial feed, which means that it's not looped into it from any other sources except for one. And what this extension does is it ties it back in now to our Mesabi Junction line, which was a previous project that I permitted through the city. So that's necessary in order for us to do long needed large maintenance on the existing portion of 137 line, because right now it's such a critical circuit that we can't take it out for any significant length of time to do much needed heavy maintenance on it. So that'll enable that, and it'll also enable other transmission builds in the future that will, add even more redundancy to the system.
What's the construction timeline?
The construction timeline is ever changing based on other projects that Minnesota Power is doing, but we expect it to be in service, I think first quarter 25 is the latest I heard. So probably won't be starting the line construction until not this winter, but the next winter.
Okay.
But I think it's going to primarily be all in the winter, and we should be able to do it in one season.
Okay. All right. Does the council have any questions? Any questions from the council? All right. So Becky, what do we need? A motion on this tonight?
To approve, yes.
I'm looking for a motion to approve Minnesota Power Line 137 conditional use permit.
So moved.
Motion by Councilor Pop. Is there support?
I'll support.
Support by Councilor Grimes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 11.2, hiring for firefighter EMT. Hoyt Lakes Fire and EMS Department recommends hiring Alyssa Faint for the casual part-time position of firefighter EMT. Mel, any comments or anything?
Nope, she will be a nice fit.
Okay. Questions by the council? Not hearing any. Motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Councilor Kramer. Support?
I'll support.
Support by Councilor Pop. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Request from Fire Department Assistant Chief Jeremy Damon and Secretary Jordan Hronsi to move to firefighter-only positions effective June 1, 2022. Tony, Mel, any comments?
I got a couple things on this. It says at the November 22nd council meeting that I was supposed to bring information back regarding the effects on the EMS department and potential pension imbalances, which I was never asked to do.
Okay.
But as far as the pension imbalances go, we did a cost analysis that is in the packet, and that doesn't have anything. And that's all I have on that, unless you guys have questions.
This really shouldn't affect the pension balance at all. I mean, they're getting pension now, and
Yeah. So our full roster is 25.
and what are you? 13?
13.
Okay.
With a retirement coming June 1st.
Okay. And then Mel, this will put you two more EMTs short. How's the roster being filled? How much
I'm
short are you?
completely open Memorial Week.
Okay. I think this council's gonna have to look at shortages of both firefighter and EMTs. And it's gonna be going to be an interesting situation trying to get them in. We might be looking at full-time EMTs or something, so.
I know that I've had conversations with Tony about this and Mel about it. It's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. So if, let's say we deny this request from the 2 firefighters, and then they turn around and just flat out quit, so then you now are down 2 more firefighters plus the 2 EMTs that, they're no longer going to be working as EMTs. So that's the bad part of it. The biggest part that I was disappointed about was the fact that I think we thought that we were getting inundated with people that were willing to sign up for firefighter only. It was going to be a good perk, and it really didn't happen. And that, and that's come back to hurt us. So
I think we really got to get more aggressive on the advertising right now. Maybe even full-time or full-page or half-page shopper ads or something. I mean, we got to really get it out there. I don't see a lot of advertising out there, and I think we need to hit that harder. It might help. I don't know. This is statewide. This isn't just us. Everybody's having the same problem. And I know some of the other departments are balking, combining, but I don't see any other option. I mean, with fire departments, if every department is at half staff, what options do you have? So.
Yeah, I reached out to like Mount Iron, Aurora, Lubbock. None of them are fully staffed. And it's not just a Hoyt Lakes issue, it's everywhere on the northern, anywhere in the state basically, not just northern. I mean, it's like anything else. People don't want to coach, they don't want to ref, they don't want to commit their time to anything. I honestly, I don't even think it's a money issue. I just think it's a commitment issue.
Yeah. And my other comment on this, I think the Hoyt Lakes Fire Department suffers from having to have all this extra EMT. This is a East Range ambulance service, and I don't see Aurora and the town of White stepping forward to get us EMTs, and all of their departments have dropped EMT requirements. I mean, you don't even have to be an EMT to be on their department at all, and so we're not getting much support over there. And I think it's important that we keep our fire department in the city, and if we have to hire full-time EMTs, that's not on us. That's on an East Range situation to keep that ambulance going out the door. So.
And I think just in the 18 years I've been on, I mean, we started with 450 calls. You're required to make 1 business meeting, 1 work meeting. There's no requirements. Everything's changed. Our call number's gone up. I mean, me personally, I feel that the EMS side of it's no different than any other. I mean, I wouldn't sit here and tell you we need a full-time fire department because that's not the case. But as far as an ambulance service, I truly believe that's where we're at. I mean, you look at Public Works, it's no different than any other city department. We don't staff any of those with volunteer paid on call staff. And it's more and more of a time commitment to every single one of the people doing it. I mean, we've been lucky enough that we have a retired Dan Pop that stayed on for the last 7 years when he retired from the fire department. Without people like that, we wouldn't have an ambulance service. I mean, there's a lot of dedicated people. Melanie's put a lot of time into it. Like me personally, in the 18 years I've been the fire chief for 11 now, we're busier than we ever have been. I mean, not necessarily on the fire side, but the ambulance side, and it's only going to get busier.
Yeah. How many runs we had last year, Mel?
Upper 950s.
950. Yeah. So I mean, it's. I think the full-time EMTs are going to be the only solution coming forward.
My temporary salary budget supports that already. I have $203,000 in my temporary salaries. So if we slid that over to full-time, used our volunteers as they're intended, I know we can do it.
The only thing not in the budget is benefits for those
Right.
employees.
It would be a benefit issue.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So
Tony, and I don't hear that well down at the department. Eki was talking about an open house. What, is that something to try to get people to sign up and join
Yeah.
the fire department? Is that what you've got going? Or?
Yeah, just fire and ambulance.
Okay.
So our thought is in August, I can't remember the exact date off the top of my head, but they have National Night Out. We're gonna try to do something this year and have an open house at the fire department, and try to get people in, and maybe if they come in and they see it. I mean, we haven't, on the 18 years I've been on, we've done one open house, and that was when the fire department was brand new. So our thought was if we can get people in, Eki and I can't remember who else, we're gonna spearhead it, work with law enforcement and try to have some kind of national night out, open house, try to get people in so they can see what our department's about.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, great idea.
Any other council questions, comments? So Chief House, you're supporting this request from Jeremy Damon and Jordan Horonsky?
I am.
Okay. Can I get a motion to approve these two EMT firefighters to go to firefighter only? The council did approve that in November.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Councilor Grams, is there support?
I'll support.
Support by Councilor Kramer. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. 11.4, hiring of firefighters. The Hoyt Lakes Fire Department recommends hiring Matthew Bank, and did I say that right? And Katie Parks as firefighters. Both are already working in the Emergency Services Department. So here's some good news. We picked up these two and one earlier. So can I get a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Councilor Kramer. Support?
I'll support.
Support by Councilor Pop. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 11.5, hiring of summer seasonal employees. Reviewed by City Administrator Lammy and Snetzinger and West and Chief Suler. They're looking at hiring in the recreation, Henry Depew, Assistant Greenskeeper, Evan Skelton, and Golf Course, Cole Meyer. Questions, comments? Becky, does that put us at full summer staff then?
Yes, we're hiring one short in recreation. So typically we have 2 recreation students and we only have 1 this year. But Public Works Director Snetzinger assured me that the Public Works kids can definitely help out as needed in recreation. It does put us in kind of a tight spot for Water Carnival. But the hope is that between Wade, myself, and Kenny, we get it all worked out as to exactly who's going where.
Okay. Have a motion to hire seasonal employees?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Councilor Pop, support?
I'll support.
Support by Councilor Kramer. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries. 11.6, East Range Youth Activities Coordinator, proposal for 22, 23, and 24. In front of you, this is that youth activity coordinator. They're doing a 3-year contract. It'd be kind of nice to have it so for budget times and stuff. It hasn't gone up, I don't know, what, 3-4 years we've had it, it's been the same, so I'm sure there's health insurance increases and salary increases, so. In 22, we're paying $10,000, in 23, we're paying $13,500, and in 24, we'll go to $13,905. City of Aurora, Town of White and Boabic are all paying exactly the same amount, am I correct on that?
That is correct.
Any questions or comments, discussion? Not hearing any, a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Councilor Pop, support?
I'll support.
Support by Councilor Grams. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, motion carries. 11.7, ordinance number 23, discussion. This is the golf course. Dan was here last week. You got the letter in front of you. There's 4 items on here that the Golf Commission doesn't want us to do. They think it should stay the same. I did get some information on this. Right now, as of this year, we're only at 62 season or regular, what are they called?
Season.
Season passes. That's for the year. Dan or Gene, want to come up and talk?
Well, do you know what the season passes were last year, Chris?
I don't.
Yeah, Mike.
It should be on.
It's too early to look at season passes.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Most of them until June 1st and June 10th.
Yeah.
So, but remember what I first said the last time? Don't shoot the messenger.
No?
Okay, I'm not, this is the golf commission people, I just happen to be the spokesman, I have to be on the golf commission and to run it out there, but, and Gene is here too, and I think we pretty much agreed with all the price increases, because it was time to increase prices on everything. It hadn't been, it's been years and years since all the price increases. The three things in the letter, I have four, but the three things in the letter that we have a hard time with is, I'll just start with one, the Fisherman's Point. We always used to give a 50% off to anybody that said at Fisherman's Point. It was a good deal. Here's why. They'd come out and buy half that, but everyone would buy a full cart too. They would rent a full cart. Okay? And we just feel, the city's getting money out there already, and it's a good program, and I got people that have been coming for years and years and years. If you take that away, oof, it's just a check mark to me for the city, not just me. The other one was, help me out here. Well, not that one.
You got Fisherman?
The new membership.
The new membership.
We took the new membership away. We've had that for many, many, many years. And I look back through the records, and I think between 2016 and 2020, because they didn't have 21 and 22, we got about 25 new members. So what I'm saying by that is, those people that we got into new members, they stayed as members, and they're still members now. We got 25 of those. That's a pretty good program.
All those 25 have stayed on?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's the second one. And then the third one was, to us, it was just common sense. And you're talking to the two people that came years ago, and a family passed. He got hurt and I got hurt back when our kids were 20 years ago, 15 years ago, because we had a husband and a wife that wanted to play golf. And then our kids were juniors and seniors, and they had to buy separate passes that they weren't included in the family. The city changed that about 15, 18 years ago, right? And now you reverted back. And now if a kid is 16 or 17 or the 11th and 12th grade, they have to buy separate passes and they're not included in the family pass. And also you increase the junior, because the junior last year went to 18 and now it only goes to 16. So now you're asking for another $100 out of those 11th and 12th graders. We just felt that, geez, that's your future. Now you're promoting golf, but that's just.
How many family?
Very little. But the juniors, the 16 and 17-year-olds, a lot. There's quite a few of those. I don't have the number, but to me, even if it's 5.
We also have on your golf team, $80 for golf team. I don't remember the last time the golf team members paid.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Lots. I can name names.
Well, I know they've golfed out there, but I don't remember them paying. I know Wade has waived that for years, that they've had to pay it. Well,
no.
We'll look into that.
Chris, here's what it went. During the golf season, they didn't have to pay. After the season's over, they have to pay the golf team rate.
I understand that.
That's been adhered to.
I understand that, but about 80% of them don't golf after the season's over.
Some of them don't, yeah, so it doesn't hurt nothing.
Well, but they still golf for free for several months.
Golf team, that's between you and the city, that's between you and the high school.
Yeah.
So, and then the fourth one that was on was the reciprocity program, which, and I don't think that was being taken away or anything like that, but just wanted to make sure. We're one of 8 courses that belong to Wild North Golf. We have for 20 years. Anybody that golfs at Hoyt Lakes can golf at the other 7 courses for half price. Any of those 7 courses can golf at our price for half price. It's a huge revenue. My guess would say it's $20,000 of revenue that we get. Not only do they get half price, everybody that comes buys a full cart. Nobody walks. So that was the fourth thing.
Okay.
Don't shoot the messenger.
I'm not. This is a council decision. What's the council want to do?
Well, so the biggest reason I asked Becky to put this back on the agenda, because I was a liaison to the Golf Commission. I was at the meeting when we talked about rates and everything, and when we came back to budget time, I don't recall, Dave didn't recall, Deb didn't recall ever talking about dropping any of these other things. And that's why I wanted to get it back on the agenda. The biggest thing, we definitely don't want to lose people out there. You know, golf is kind of a fading sport as it is, and we don't want to cause any more people not to golf out there. So one of the big questions I have is, should this Wild North Golf program be in our book?
Yes, so many of the things you're talking about, the Fisherman's Point discount rate, the Wild North Golf, those are two things that the council never approved, and they legally need to charge those fees. So we can definitely get them in, the Wild North Golf, into the ordinance to get that passed at a discount rate. As long as you let me know about it at budget time, I can definitely have those included. We cannot issue Fisherman Point discount passes, and in the football books, they have those discounts. We cannot issue any discounts for city services, and that's a rule from the auditors. So we can't discount those through coupons or anything like that. No gift cards, we can't do that for city services.
But you could set a rate.
Yeah, we'd have to.
Just say Fisherman's Point rate.
But how would you verify that?
Just, I put in a new key on the register.
No, how would you verify they're staying out there? What I'm saying is it'd be a lot of paperwork between the two.
They used to get a card.
Yeah, that's the past. You can't do that.
So, and when you're talking about that, Dan, is that mostly out-of-town people that were taking advantage of that? But
all out of town. There's no income, all out of town.
So the White Lakes residents say, if I went out and stayed at the Point, then I should be able to come out and golf for
They do, but I don't remember ever in-town.
anybody that, because I don't buy a season pass. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people.
That's the first thing they ask for. They want to. I know there's these three elderly gentlemen, they come 4 times a year for a week. They come 4 times.
Mhm.
First thing they ask for, they're out there 5 days a week, renting carts and everything.
Paying $14 a round for golf. Gene, what'd you pay in Arizona last year to golf?
Average.
Yeah.
They're all about 50.
50? What's council want to do?
Now, if the council was in favor of the discount for Fisherman's Point people, is there a way they could stop at the office and say, I'd like to go golf, and they give them some kind of certificate that says, here you go, it has a date stamped on it, and it's signed by the campground manager?
We used to do that. We cannot do that.
That's one of those.
Yeah,
we can't get a
there can't
discount.
be any discounts, there can't be any gift cards, no certificates. It has to be done in a better cash handling way. The reason we can't do it, the reason the auditors don't like it, is because it creates a cash handling error, ripe for abuse. You know what I mean? Like if you get a stack of those coupons, well, then you could just go hand them out, So that's what we're trying to get away from, the cash handling aspect of it.
So is there a way they could give you either like a receipt or some verification that you are a camper at the Point, and when you show that to the golf course, they hit the other button that is a certain price point, whatever?
I would say
decide?
as we come in, because we're switching the campground from a check-in at, cash handling at the campground to an electronic system, and I say as we would come into that, I can definitely work with Dustin to get something like that worked out. I would not say it's something we're going to be able to get to this summer.
As far as the coupon books, the one problem I have with that is every year they come and we get them, they're free. I've always honored them, and they printed them off last year for this year.
Which
So
coupon books are we talking about?
Baseball boosters.
Football boosters.
Football boosters. It costs nothing to get it. And I do some on my own end too. They spend $25, they get $10 off. But I think there's something in there about a golf that and get the other one half price or something. But those things are out there. Because they were done last September, October for this year. So I don't know. No, not saying we don't honor them. So. But that was a year ago, that those things are sold. So. I don't know how to handle that.
What's council want to do?
Well, personally, I'd like to see the three things: reinstate the new member golf rate, approve the Wild North Golf Program, and update the junior golfers that price. If we could do that and work on some sort of a legal discount for next year.
Yeah, and it's not, to me, it's not the end of the world with the Fisherman's Point thing. You would have, the Fisherman's Point people and me and Robert, we're gonna get a lot of complaints from those people. Just the way it is, but that's fine.
How much of a discount for new members?
It's always been a little bit of more than half price. So I would say $200,
That's a fair number.
right? Because that last year was 180, it was like,
185 or something like that.
yeah, I said $200. So it's almost 65%, right? The 330 or 295 for a senior, new member, so it's a third discount on new membership.
So Dan, that's one of them. And when they couldn't have had a season pass for 3 years, correct?
Yep.
Okay. That's the one item. The other one is,
Just getting that Wild North Golf Program into this green book somehow.
So that
To
would
the
be a
ordinance.
50% off greens fees, and then the next one would be moving the juniors' age from 16 to 18.
Yeah.
those are the three you would like?
Mhm.
Can I get that in a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Counselor Pop. Is there support? Support by Counselor Craver. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. 3 out of 4.
Thank you. And then Chris, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Dan.
I mean, you're one of the volunteers that came out and helped me on the golf course, taking off shingles and taking off siding last year. You volunteered your time out there to help me, so thanks.
And just so everyone's aware, this needs to go through an ordinance change. So an ordinance will be brought to the council next meeting for approval. Well, after they approve it, we have to post it for 10 days. Then it'll get published in the newspaper after they officially approve it. So these won't take place right away, but we'll get it on the next agenda.
Okay. Item 11.8, bids for Fisherman's Point Bathhouse Project. I don't know who wants to start this one, Becky or Kenny?
We'll fight about it.
Okay, Becky, go ahead and start.
So the city council approved a bid package, or approved going out for bids for the Fisherman's Point bathhouse. That bid is in front of you. We received one bid. Kenny and I also went through the alternates. We selected a couple to approve and a couple to deny. We worked with Welton and Menk to get those numbers in front of you. The bid came in high. I don't know if that is reflective of labor prices, of material prices, of both. I will tell you that if you want to get it done, you can get it done for that price. So, I don't know if Kenny has anything to add.
Not really.
No other real option? Couldn't rebid it again, try to get more bidders? I mean,
And still get in this construction season? Probably not. I mean, I know personally right now of contractors who didn't bid, the reason we only got one bid, some didn't turn their bids in because of the substantial completion date and possibly with lack of material availability, being able to meet that. So
Yeah, but-
what was, excuse me, I'm sorry. Substantial completion was when?
October.
This
October?
fall.
Yeah,
Yep.
this fall.
Wasn't Joel Koala just here the last meeting and said that he changed the completion date out 2 years to facilitate that, to get more bids?
Joe wasn't at the last meeting.
Oh, the last time he was here, that's the message that he gave the council, unless I rented.
I don't remember.
No, that was
There's-
Brian Goulden, and that was the sewer plant.
No, it was Joe.
The substantial completion is this fall, but actual sign-off completion is next spring, which is why he did it that way, to say that, well, you can get the concrete work done this year, and then if you don't get the building
Right.
work done till, that's
Stretch.
how it was working.
Okay.
It's almost twice what we budgeted. So, what's the council's flavor in this? I have a hard time spending $620,000 on a bathroom with 6 showers in it, personally. I would recommend tabling it and talking to them, see if there's anything else we can change to try to get more bidders. I talked to one bidder today, he lost his carpentry crew, or he would have bid on it, Winger didn't bid on it because his carpenter crew's gone, so.
Yeah, and I know one of the bidders who was, calling me at night and emailing me for different things on right up to the deadline of turning in the bid. But, he said that some of the contract suppliers can't guarantee him material this year. So again, he just didn't even turn in his bid. And he had collected, bids from other subs, mechanical subs, carpentry subs, everybody else. They all went through their work, did it, handed it to him as a package, and he didn't turn it in because there was no guarantees.
One thing I will mention that the council can either approve this bid package or reject it tonight. Those are the two actions to take. If you do reject it and look at going out for bids again, there is a possibility of losing that $100,000 IRRR grant because it will not be completed by December 31st, and that is a requirement of that grant.
Is there parts of the work that can be completed using that grant this year and hold off on some next year?
Good question. The problem with that is once you reach $175,000, you abut public bidding law. So you do need to do that. So there are portions of it that could be under that, but we need to spend $200,000 to utilize that entire grant.
And we only get half of whatever, a match of whatever we spend. So if we spend 75, we only get 75.
Yeah.
Okay. Which would be better than losing everything, but I don't know as far as the process of building it, if it's feasible to do parts now and wait, or something that needs to be done all at once.
Right, and if you start piecing it out, like say for instance, we want to get concrete done this year. Before you can do concrete, you have to get the mechanical in the ground. All the plumbing has to be under the slab. So if you're going to hire the mechanical contractor, between the mechanical and the concrete, you're looking at, a couple $100,000 of the project just to get that in the ground. Now we'll have $200,000 more along with the $100,000 worth of infrastructure coming to it. We'll have $300,000 in a slab with plumbing and no building yet.
Yeah, I think it's tough on this project with all the underground plumbing. You either gotta not do it or do it all.
And that's what I'm finding out.
And we do have a $100,000 grant.
I just hate to lose that grant money, but if it's not, if it wouldn't work to use parts and leave parts, then it's not really an option.
Any other discussion, council?
The other big thing is, by delaying it, this is what, second year, so we had planned on having this done a couple years ago, so we went through the thing and we had paid a different engineering firm, and we lost that money, and so what's gonna happen if we push it out another year, then is there gonna be more engineering costs, and is there gonna be?
Construction costs are going up 12 to 15% a year right now.
And Kenny and I talked about this at length, and I think what it comes down to for me is, and the reason I put in that I recommend that we approve this tonight, or the council approves this tonight, is 18 months from now, if I'm looking back, I much rather would have said, I wish we wouldn't have approved it, and we spent an extra $100,000, than 18 months from now saying, I wish we'd approved it, because guess what, it went up to $1.5 million, or you know what I mean? So I rather, that's the reason I put the recommendation I did on there.
My only issue with the whole thing is that if we'd had more than one bid, I'd be comfortable with it. It's the one bid. Did Lency just add a couple $100,000 to it because he's busy? You know, if you'd had 2 or 3 bids, it's a lot easier decision.
Right? If we had 4 bids and they all came in the same, you would know that's what it truly costs to build it. but-
Exactly. Exactly, so we can either approve it or reject
Has
it.
Bolton and Mank reviewed this at all and considered it a fair bid, or have you?
That's not an analysis they make. They, in their engineering estimates, that actually came in less than their engineering estimate.
Okay, I guess that was the question there that I was asking, so.
I guess you either do it now or I don't know when it would get done. And you give them $100,000. And we do make about $100, $125 a year out there.
You did lose in 2020 with the pandemic and it being closed, but yeah, you usually make between 150 and 225 a year.
You know, so it's not like, you know, we are bringing in money, and I think that's the last big piece of the puzzle out there, Kenny, am I correct? You now have 2 new bathrooms and,
Yes, then we would demo the old bathrooms after that. We would look at turning the location of one of the old bathrooms into a handicap campsite. And then eventually, I think the only other piece of the puzzle would be possibly some sidewalk and parking area. The new bathroom that was built in 2015 still doesn't have like a paved parking area, no sidewalks connecting the stoops in front of the doors to parking area, etc. So I mean, I would say the next big thing down there would be like a paved parking lot, more sidewalks.
Right.
And even this doesn't include, this bid did include a parking area, but not all the sidewalk that was in the engineer's drawings of the site. You know, so there would be some sidewalk and paving to be done out there in the future.
and we'd be taking out that other bathroom, right down a little bit farther on that
Correct.
side.
Yeah.
And I thought that we could get 2 sites in there, but just one?
That, yes, no, where the other bathroom is, near the location of the other bathrooms, that brown corrugated one, that would be turned into an ADA site, because that is directly across from the ADA fishing pier, and it's right next door to the ADA accessible bathrooms that we already have. So that was the goal. Where the other bathroom is at farther down, once we tear that out, yes, you can probably fit 1 or 2 more sites in there.
So, you know, you end up with a couple of 2 to 3 new sites with that revenue coming in. You know, and the council's gonna have to look at next year, might have to raise rates a little bit to help pay for this.
The other thing in prepping for next year is we've been talking in the office about a slightly different structure to reservations, especially with an online system, probably reducing the number of seasonals and maybe introducing a monthly reservation. So those things will come to you at budget time to consider.
You were saying how much we make a year out there. Is that in consideration of, do you think we'll make more money with the new management and new reservation system?
Yes.
Those are based on just the numbers from previous years that were
Correct.
reported?
Yep,
Okay.
numbers as reported
I just
previously,
checked.
correct.
Is there a potential to make more money than we used to?
And I think the other positive is the bottom paragraph that states, you know, that the Fisherman's Point Reserve does have the dollars to cover that. So they've made the money out there to cover the cost of putting the bathroom up, so.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve rather than keep waiting.
I do have a couple of questions with the logic of the no heat, and then also, I don't know if you can explain to me on the, there was 2 line items. One was the masonry block foam filled was 75,000, and then the hollow one was 78,000. Are those numbers transposed?
Nope.
or-
Those are right.
We were both taken back by that too. I was told last year when I was collecting quotes to try and get this building built, not to go with the foam-filled block because that drove the price through the roof. And one of our local masonry contractors tried telling me to go with a hollow core and, you know, core fill the block the way you traditionally would on a building, non-insulated. When these quotes came in, or these bids came in, they actually came in with the foam filled being cheaper. I don't know how, if it's possibly the process when they build the wall that there's, you know, no core filling then, and that's where you save the money. I don't know, I'm not that familiar with the product. The only benefit I do see is that if you do go with the foam filled block, then you do meet code to heat the building. If we went with a hollow core block, then you're not supposed to heat an uninsulated building by code. The reason for not heating the building is right now we have a building that has a pretty fancy slab heat and boiler system in it that only runs about 2 weeks out of a camping season. I mean, we're only open in the summer and heat isn't running in the summer. So we built a building with heat in it that never runs. Except in that shoulder season of maybe late April, early May, and late September. I mean, we close the 3rd week of September before the heat ever starts running. We heat the building year round then, and the building we have now isn't winterized. This building, when it was designed to be winterized. It has low point drains and hookups for an air compressor and everything, so this building would be winterized. It also has frost footings to withstand it not being winterized, so that it's not going to say heave and crack all the walls, etc. But I just, we had talked about it at length too when, it came to designing this building. Do we need 2 heated bathrooms down there, 2 for the shoulder season? Before summer kicks off, I mean, we're not that busy down there right now, nor are we in the end of September when the heat would be running. Do we need to have them both heated? And
Yep, if they don't like a cold building to shower in the next morning, they'll walk a little further to shower in the warm building.
If one is heated, that's enough. That time of year's not very busy.
when you hit that shoulder season, we'll close the one down that's not heated, and like we currently have. I mean, right now, until we built the one in 2015, nothing was ever heated down there. So,
The only other question I had is, I thought we had talked about buying the grinder for that system out there. Did that ever happen, or did we, and it got used somewhere else? Or, because I see it's included on the price.
no,
we never did buy the.
We never did put a lift station in it.
Okay.
We have the infrastructure in the ground to the site, and it needs this duplex grinder station to, before we, that was a cost that wasn't associated with the last one that was built because, just like the water and sewer line running to the site, it was already there.
Right.
This is $100 and some thousand worth of stuff that wasn't required on the last bathroom.
Any other questions? I have a motion on the floor from Councilor Grams. Is there support?
I'll support.
Support by Councilor Pop. Any other further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And 11.9, last item on the agenda is Hoyt Lakes Water Carnival liquor license transfer for July 21st to the 24th. This just needs to be approved tonight for that. Any discussion? I'll make the motion to approve. Is there support?
I'll support.
Support by Councilor Kramer. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And, well, all good things must come to an end. First, I'd like to thank the citizens of Hoyt Lakes for the honor of being your mayor. It was one of the highlights of my life. Second, I would like to thank the City of Hoyt Lakes employees. I think we have one of the best staffs around, and I think we're second to none. I think I'm very, very proud to be leaving with the staff we have in place. I think our supervisors and our workers are in good shape to keep the city moving forward for many years. So I'd like to thank all of you. And then next to the city council, we didn't always agree on anything. I know we got a couple new members, but I think we always made the right decision for the city of Hoyt Lakes. And I think that's the important part here. And a lot of people don't understand it. Whenever I voted, I always had to sit and think, what's the best for the city of Hoyt Lakes? Not what's best for Dan Darbo or anybody else. You got to remember you're working for the whole city. So I think we did a good job, and I'd like to thank this council for that. City government has lots of moving parts and is more complicated than most people think. And if you sat up here, you'd understand that. And I know that our supervisors understand that too. This fall, we have a mayor and 3 council seats up. I'm talking to the public right now. If you're interested at all, come down and find out what's going on and get an application. We're really needing some new young blood, and that's what we're going to need to keep the city moving forward. So thank you and goodbye. I need a motion to adjourn, and I will make that motion. Is there support?
I'll support.
Support by Counselor Kramer. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Good night, everybody.